Ladies, let me ask you something straight up. Why would you let someone orbit your world if they can't even see the galaxy within you? I'm not here to sugarcoat things or waste your time with fluff. Life's too short for that, and frankly, so is this talk. You're not just a face, a body, or a fleeting moment in someone's day. You're a force, a mission, a freaking starship ready to launch into the universe of your own making, and yet some of you are letting guys cruise into your orbit who don't even bother to learn your coordinates. That stops today. We're talking about the first red flag in relationships. When a guy doesn't take initiative for you, it's not just a small glitch, it's a warning sign that he's only chasing your looks, not the incredible human being you are. Buckle up, because we're diving into this like it's a SpaceX mission, and I'm not letting you settle for anything less than extraordinary. Think about what it takes to build something epic, like a rocket that can touch the stars, or a car that redefines how we move. It's not about showing up for the photo op when the rocket's gleaming on the launch pad. It's about the grind, the late nights, the relentless pursuit of making it happen. When I started SpaceX, we didn't just wish for Mars. We engineered every bolt, every system, every line of code to get us there. Relationships are no different. If a guy's not putting in the work, not taking the initiative to make you feel valued, he's not building anything real with you. He's just a tourist snapping selfies with your beauty, not a partner ready to co-pilot your mission. And you deserve someone who's all in, someone who's ready to roll up their sleeves and build something lasting, not just admire the view. Let's break this down. Initiative isn't just about grand gestures, though, those don't hurt. It's the small, consistent actions that show someone's invested in you as a person. Does he ask about your dreams, your fears, the things that keep you up at night? Does he show up when you're struggling, not just when you're glowing? Or is he only there when it's convenient, when you're dressed to the nines, or when the vibe's easy? If he's not taking the lead to make your life better, whether it's planning a date, checking in after a rough day, or just listening when you need to vent, then he's not seeing you. He's seeing a projection, a pretty hologram of who you are on the outside. And that's not love, that's laziness. It's like someone signing up for a Mars mission but bailing when it's time to train. You wouldn't trust that guy to navigate a spaceship, so why trust him with your heart? I know this hits hard. It's painful to realize someone's not showing up for you the way you deserve. Maybe you felt that sting, that quiet ache when you're giving your all and getting crumbs in return. You're pouring your energy into someone who's just coasting, and it feels like you're running a marathon while they're chilling on the sidelines. I get it. I've poured everything into projects, Tesla, Neuralink, you name it, and faced moments where the world didn't show up for me either. But here's the thing. You don't get to Mars by settling for half-hearted teammates. You don't build a life-changing relationship by accepting someone who's only in it for the surface. You're not here to be someone's eye candy. You're here to change the game, to live a life that's as bold and boundless as your potential. So, what's the fix? It starts with you. You've got to see your own worth first. Imagine you're designing the next big thing in your life. Every choice you make, every person you let in is a component in that design. If a guy's not taking initiative, he's a faulty part, and you don't launch a rocket with a busted engine. You replace it. You demand better. Start by asking yourself, what's my mission? Not just in love, but in life. Are you aiming to build a career that shakes up the world? To create art that moves people? To be the kind of woman who leaves a legacy? Whatever it is, write it down, own it, and don't let anyone into your orbit who doesn't respect that mission. If he's not asking about your goals, not cheering you on, not stepping up to make your days brighter, he's not worth your fuel. This isn't about being harsh or cutting people off for sport. It's about clarity. When I built Tesla, we didn't waste time on designs that wouldn't scale. You shouldn't waste time on relationships that don't grow. A guy who's only chasing your looks is like a prototype that looks shiny but fails under pressure. You need someone who's stress tested, who shows up when the stakes are high, who's ready to go the distance. And trust me, those people exist. They're out there, ready to match your energy, to build something real with you. But you've got to raise your standards first. You've got to believe you're worth more than a fleeting glance. Let's talk numbers for a second because I'm a data guy. Say you're giving 100% to a relationship, your time, your heart, your energy. If he's only giving 20%, you're carrying 80% of the load. That's not sustainable. It's like trying to launch a rocket with one engine firing at quarter power. You'll crash before you hit orbit. A real partner meets you halfway, at least. They're not perfect, nobody is, but they're trying, they're invested, they're in the game. If he's not initiating plans, not checking in, not showing you he cares, he's not even at 20%. He's coasting, and you're worth more than that. You're worth someone who's all in, who sees the universe inside you and wants to explore every inch of it. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, but what if I push him away? What if I'm too demanding? Let me be clear. Demanding respect isn't being too much. It's being exactly enough. If I'd worried about being too demanding when I started SpaceX, we'd still be grounded. If I'd settled for good enough at Tesla, we'd be making gas guzzlers instead of electric cars that change the world. You don't get to extraordinary by accepting ordinary. You don't get to a relationship that lights up your soul by settling for someone who's only half there. If he walks away because you asked for more, let him. He's not your co-pilot. He's not your mission. You are. Here's your action plan, and I'm keeping it real because that's how I roll. Step one, take inventory. Look at your relationship or the guy you're eyeing and ask, is he showing up for me? Not just with words, but with actions. Does he plan? Does he care? Does he make you feel like you're part of his big picture? Step two, set your standard. Write down what you want in a partner, not just what you'll tolerate. Be bold. If you want someone who's as driven as you, who's ready to build a life that's out of this world, put that on the list. Step three, don't settle. If he's not meeting that standard, don't make excuses for him. You wouldn't keep a faulty part in a rocket. Don't keep a half-hearted guy in your life. This is about more than just one guy or one relationship. It's about you. It's about building a life that's as big as your dreams. When I look at the stars, I don't just see pretty lights. I see a future where humanity's thriving on Mars. When you look at yourself, don't just see a pretty face. See a woman who's capable of anything, who deserves a partner that matches her fire. Don't let someone dim your light because they're too lazy to take initiative. You're not here to be admired from a distance. You're here to launch, to soar, to build something epic. So raise your standards, know your worth, and don't let anyone into your orbit who doesn't see the galaxy you are. Let's move to the next red flag because we're just getting started and you've got a universe to conquer. All right, ladies, let's crank this up a notch. If you're still with me, you're not here to mess around. You're here to build a life that's out of this world, and that includes relationships that don't just coast along but actually go somewhere. We're diving into the second red flag, carelessness. When a guy's thoughtless, when he's sloppy with your heart, it's not just a minor glitch, it's a screaming siren that he's not seeing you, the real you. He's caught up in the shine of your surface. And that's a deal breaker. I don't build rockets by eyeballing measurements or hoping for the best, and you shouldn't build a relationship with someone who treats you like an afterthought. In my world, a single miscalculation can crash a mission. In yours, carelessness can crash your soul. Let's break this down Musk style and get you fired up to demand the precision you deserve. Picture this. At SpaceX, we're obsessive about details. Every screw, every line of code, every trajectory calculation has to be dead on. Why? Because when you're aiming for Mars, there's no room for close enough, 1 degree off, and you're not landing on the red planet, you're floating in the void. Now, apply that to your relationships. A guy who's careless forgetting to check in, ignoring what matters to you, or just plain not paying attention isn't just missing the mark, he's missing you. He's not seeing the woman who's got dreams bigger than a Tesla gigafactory, who's got a heart deeper than the Pacific Ocean, who's got a mind sharper than the algorithms running Neuralink. If he's not dialed in, if he's not treating you with the precision you'd give to a once-in-a-lifetime mission, he's not your co-pilot. He's dead weight, and you don't carry dead weight to the stars. What does carelessness look like? It's not always loud or obvious. It's the guy who doesn't notice when you're stressed out from a brutal day at work. It's the one who brushes off your ideas or passions because he's too busy scrolling or chasing his own ego. It's the guy who doesn't remember the little things like how you take your coffee or what song you played on repeat last week because he's not bothering to learn you. Carelessness is a guy who's happy to bask in your glow when you're looking flawless, but ghosts you when you need someone to lean on. That's not a partner. That's a spectator, and you're not here to perform for an audience. You're here to build something real. A guy who's careless isn't invested in your mission. He's just here for the show. I know this stings. It's rough to realize someone's not paying attention to the things that make you you. Maybe you felt that sinking feeling when he dismisses something you care about, or when he's physically there but mentally checked out. It's like pouring your heart into a project only to have someone shrug and say, looks fine. I've been there not in romance, but in the grind of building companies. When I pitched Tesla's vision, plenty of people rolled their eyes, too busy or too careless to see the future. But I didn't let their apathy stop me. and you shouldn't let his stop you. Carelessness isn't just a red flag, it's a roadblock, and you're too big for roadblocks. You're a force, a woman who's meant to reshape the world, not tiptoe around someone else's laziness. Let's talk about why this matters. When you let carelessness slide, you're telling yourself and the world that you're okay with being an afterthought. That's not you. You're not building a life to be someone's good enough. You're building a life to be extraordinary, to be the kind of woman who changes the game, who leaves a mark, who makes people sit up and take notice. A careless guy is like a buggy piece of software in your life's operating system. He's going to crash your progress if you don't debug him out. At SpaceX, we don't ship rockets with known flaws. At Tesla, we don't roll out cars with half-baked systems. And in your life, you don't keep people who don't treat you with the care and precision you deserve. You're worth more than that. You're worth someone who's locked in, who's paying attention, who's ready to go the distance. So, how do you spot carelessness and shut it down? It's about pattern recognition, something I'm pretty good at if I do say so myself. Look at his actions, not just his words. Does he follow through when he says he'll call? Does he remember the things you tell him? Or is he always forgetting what's important? Does he show up for you emotionally, or is he just there for the easy moments? If he's dropping the ball over and over, that's not a one-off, that's a system failure. And systems that fail don't get a free pass, they get replaced. You don't fix a broken rocket by hoping it'll magically work. You redesign, you rebuild, you demand better. Same goes for your relationships. Demand precision because you're a precision-built masterpiece yourself. Here's where the rubber meets the road. You've got to believe you're worth the effort. I didn't get to where I am by accepting sloppy work from my teams. When we built the Falcon Heavy, we obsessed over every detail, because anything less would have been a betrayal of the mission. Your life is your mission, and you're the CEO. If a guy's careless, he's not meeting your standards, and you don't lower your standards for anyone. You raise them. You demand someone who's as invested in you as you are in yourself. Someone who notices the way your eyes light up when you talk about your goals. Someone who remembers the little things, because to him, they're not little, they're part of the incredible woman he's lucky to know. That's the kind of precision you deserve. Let's get practical, because I'm not here to just hype you up. I'm here to help you launch. Step one, call it out. If he's being careless, don't let it slide. Have a real conversation, not to nag, but to set the tone. Say, I need you to show up for me, not just when it's easy. Step two, watch his response. If he steps up, great, he's coachable. If he doubles down on carelessness, that's your cue to exit. Step three, surround yourself with people who get it. Friends, mentors, maybe even a new guy who's ready to match your energy. Build a team that's as precise as you are, because you're not going to Mars with a crew that's half asleep. I know it's tempting to make excuses for him. He's busy, he's stressed, he didn't mean it. But here's the truth. Carelessness is a choice. If he's choosing to be careless with you, he's choosing not to see you, and you're too damn extraordinary to be invisible. When I built Starlink, we didn't just throw satellites into orbit and hope they'd connect the world. We planned, we tested, we iterated. A relationship takes that same level of care. You deserve someone who's engineering a future with you, not just drifting through your life like a satellite with no signal. This isn't just about one guy, it's about your entire trajectory. Every choice you make, every person you let in, shapes where you're headed. If you're letting carelessness slide, you're dimming your own light. But if you demand precision, if you hold the line on what you're worth, you're setting yourself up for a life that's as big as your dreams. You're not here to be someone's afterthought. You're here to be a game changer, a world shaker, a woman who doesn't just orbit, but defines the orbit. So don't settle for sloppy. Don't settle for less than you're worth. Demand precision, because you're a precision-built rocket and you're ready to launch. Let's keep going next. Red flag, here we come. All right, ladies, we're on a roll, and I'm not slowing down. You're not here to just exist. You're here to build a life that's as bold as a mission to Mars, and that includes relationships that honor every step of your journey. We're diving into the third red flag. When a guy forgets your milestones, your birthday, your anniversary, the moments that define you, this isn't about him missing a date on the calendar. It's about him missing you. If he's not keeping track of the moments that light up your world, he's not invested in your orbit. He's just skimming the surface, dazzled by your shine, but clueless about your substance. In my world, forgetting a launch date could tank a mission. In yours, forgetting your milestones can tank your heart. Let's break this down, Musk style, and fire you up to demand a partner who celebrates every inch of your incredible journey. Think about what it takes to pull off something massive, like landing a rocket on a drone ship in the middle of the ocean. Every milestone matters. The first test, the first orbit, the first successful landing. At SpaceX, we don't just shrug and say, we'll catch the next one. We track every moment, every win, because those milestones are the building blocks of the future. Your life is no different. Your birthday isn't just a day, it's the anniversary of the day, a force, like you entered the universe. Your anniversary isn't just a date, it's a marker of the journey you've chosen to share. If a guy can't be bothered to remember those moments, he's not just forgetting a date, he's forgetting your story. He's not seeing the woman who's out there conquering her goals, chasing her dreams, and building a life that's bigger than any one moment. He's just here for the highlight reel, not the whole epic saga. Let's get real about what this looks like. It's the guy who forgets your birthday until you remind him, then tosses you a half-hearted happy birthday like it's an afterthought. It's the guy who doesn't even know your anniversary is coming up, let alone plan something to mark it. It's the guy who brushes off the moments that matter to you. Maybe it's the day you landed your dream job or the anniversary of a personal triumph because he's too busy or too distracted to care. That's not a partner. That's a passenger, someone who's along for the ride but not invested in the destination. You're not a taxi service. You're a rocket ship, and you deserve someone who's charting the course with you, not dozing off in the back seat. I know this one cuts deep. There's something uniquely painful about realizing someone you care about doesn't care enough to remember the moments that make you, you. It's like pouring your heart into a project, say, building a Tesla from scratch, only to have someone shrug when you hit a major milestone. I felt that sting. When we launched the first Falcon 1, plenty of people didn't care about the years of work it took to get there, but I didn't let their indifference stop me, and you shouldn't let his stop you. Your milestones aren't just dates, they're proof of your growth, your resilience, your fire. If he's not celebrating them, he's not celebrating you. And you're worth a whole damn parade. Why does this matter so much? Because milestones are the checkpoints of your mission. They're the moments that say, I'm here, I'm growing, I'm becoming. When someone forgets them, they're saying your journey doesn't matter. And that's not just a red flag, it's a deal breaker. At Tesla, we don't build cars by ignoring the steps that get us there. Every prototype, every test drive, every tweak to the battery is a milestone we track. Your life deserves that same level of attention. A guy who's only chasing your looks isn't tracking your progress, he's just enjoying the view. But you're not a static picture. You're a story in motion, a woman who's evolving, achieving, and shining brighter every day. You need someone who's keeping up, who's marking the moments that make you extraordinary. So, how do you spot this and shut it down? It's about paying attention to patterns, not just one off mistakes. Nobody's perfect. I've missed deadlines, miscalculated trajectories, but the difference is effort. Does he make an effort to remember what matters to you? Does he plan ahead for your birthday? Or does he scramble last minute with a generic gift? Does he know the stories behind your milestones, or is he clueless about what makes them special? If he's consistently dropping the ball, that's not a quirk, it's a choice. He's choosing not to prioritize you. And you don't build a life-changing relationship with someone who's choosing to stay on the sidelines. You need a co-pilot who's in it for the whole mission, not just the flashy launch. Here's the mindset shift. Your milestones are sacred, and you get to decide who's invited to celebrate them. When I started Neuralink, I didn't invite naysayers to the table. I brought in people who believed in the vision, who were ready to mark every step toward connecting brains to machines. Your life is your vision, and you don't invite people who can't be bothered to show up. Start by owning your moments. Celebrate your birthday like it's the launch of a new rocket. Mark your anniversaries, personal or romantic, like they're milestones on the way to Mars. Surround yourself with people who get it, who see your moments as monumental because they are. If he's not one of those people, he's not part of your crew. Let's talk action, because I'm not here to just talk, I'm here to help you launch. Step 1, make your milestones visible. Don't hide what matters to you. Share your big days, your big wins, and see who shows up. Step 2, set expectations. If your birthday's coming up, tell him what it means to you. If he doesn't step up, that's day to use it. Step 3, celebrate yourself. Don't wait for him to make your moment special. Throw your own party, mark your own wins, because you're the star of this show. And step 4, choose wisely. Surround yourself with people who remember your moments, who make them matter, because those are the people who see you for who you are, a woman who's changing the game. This isn't about being petty or demanding perfection. It's about recognizing your worth. If I'd ignored the milestones at SpaceX, the first orbit, the first reusable rocket, we'd never have made it to where we are. Your milestones are your proof of progress, your evidence that you're on a trajectory to greatness. A guy who forgets them isn't just careless, he's clueless about the incredible woman he's dealing with. You're not here to be overlooked. You're here to be celebrated, to be seen, to be part of a partnership that's as epic as your dreams. So don't let him forget your moments. Demand someone who's tracking your journey, who's ready to cheer every step, because you're not just a pretty face, you're a force, a mission, a woman who's going to change the world. Let's keep pushing. Next red flag, we're not done yet. Ladies, we're deep in this now, and I'm not here to waste your time with fluff. You're building a life that's bigger than the average, a life that's got the potential to shake the world like a Tesla rolling off the line or a starship breaking orbit. But to get there, you've got to surround yourself with people who see the real you, not just the shiny exterior. We're hitting the fourth red flag. When a guy's only there for the good times, the fun vibes, the physical connection, but vanishes when it's time to go deeper. That's not a partner, that's a tourist in your universe, snapping photos of your surface, but clueless about the supernova inside. In my world, superficial wins don't cut it. You don't build a future on fleeting sparks, and you don't build a relationship on someone who's only chasing your looks. Let's dive in, Must Style, and get you fired up to demand a connection that's as deep as your dreams. Think about what it takes to create something revolutionary, like an electric car that changes how the world moves, or a neural interface that rewires how we think. It's not about the flashy reveal at a product launch, it's about the years of grinding, the failures, the moments nobody sees when you're debugging code at 3 a.m. A relationship is no different. If a guy's only showing up when you're sparkling, when you're dressed up, laughing, or ready for a good time, he's not in it for the mission. He's in it for the highlight reel, the Instagram worthy moments, not the real, raw, incredible woman you are. He's chasing the equivalent of a Tesla's sleek design without caring about the battery tech that makes it run. You're not just a pretty exterior, you're the whole damn system, a powerhouse of dreams, passions, and potential. If he's not diving into that, he's not worth your energy. Let's paint the picture. This guy's all charm when the mood's light. Maybe he's cracking jokes, planning fun nights out, or turning on the heat when it's just the two of you. But when the vibe shifts, when you're stressed, when you need to talk about something real, when you're not at your shiniest, where is he? Ghosting you emotionally, dodging the hard conversations, or just checked out. Maybe he's all about the physical connection, but when it's time to connect on a deeper level, your goals, your fears, your vision for the future, he's nowhere to be found. That's not a relationship. That's a transaction. And you're not a vending machine dispensing good times. You're a woman with a mission, and you deserve someone who's ready to explore the depths of who you are, not just skim the surface. This one hurts, and I get it. There's a thrill in those superficial sparks, the compliments, the attention, the way he looks at you when you're feeling on top of the world. It's like the rush of a successful rocket launch when the crowd's cheering and the cameras are flashing. But real progress isn't made in the spotlight, it's made in the quiet moments, the tough moments, the times when you're wrestling with doubt or pushing through failure. I've been there. When Tesla was on the brink of bankruptcy, it wasn't the shiny prototypes that saved us, it was the gritty, relentless work behind the scenes. If a guy's only there for the shiny moments, he's not there for you. He's there for the show, and you're worth more than a performance. Why does this matter? Because a relationship built on superficial sparks is like a rocket with no fuel. It might look good on the launch pad, but it's not going anywhere. You're not here to be someone's temporary thrill. You're here to build something lasting, something that changes the trajectory of your life. A guy who's only in it for the good times isn't invested in your future. He's not thinking about how your dreams fit together, how your struggles shape you, or how your heart beats for something bigger. He's just here for the fireworks, and fireworks burn out fast. You need someone who's ready to build the rocket, not just watch it launch. Someone who's in it for the long haul, who sees the depth of your soul and wants to explore every inch of it. So, how do you spot this and shut it down? It's about looking beyond the dazzle. Sure, the fun moments are great, but what happens when the party's over? Does he stick around when you're stressed about work, when you're wrestling with a big decision, or when you just need someone to listen? Does he ask about your dreams, not just what you're doing this weekend, but where you see yourself in 5 years? Or is he only engaged when it's easy, when you're glowing, when there's something in it for him? If he's bailing when things get real, that's not a glitch, that's a design flaw. And you don't launch a mission with a flawed design. You redesign, you rebuild, you move on to something better. Here's the mindset shift. You're not here to be someone's highlight reel. You're here to be a partner in a grand adventure. When I started SpaceX, I didn't just want to build rockets, I wanted to make humanity multiplanetary. That's not a small goal, and it's not a solo mission. Your life is your big goal, and it's not a solo mission either. You need a co pilot who's ready to go deep, to navigate the tough moments, to share the vision. That means someone who's not just there for the physical connection, but for the emotional, intellectual, soul level connection that makes a relationship real. Anything less is just noise, and you're too focused for noise. Let's get to the action plan, because I'm not here to just talk, I'm here to help you soar. Step one, test the depth. Next time you're with him, share something real, a dream, a worry, a piece of your heart. See how he responds. Does he engage, ask questions, show he cares, or does he pivot back to the easy stuff? Step two, set the bar. Make it clear you're not just here for fun, you're here for a connection that's as deep as your ambitions. If he can't meet that, he's not your guy. Step three, prioritize your own depth. Spend time on what makes you, your passions, your goals, your growth. The right person will be drawn to that, not just your surface. And step four, choose depth over dazzle. Surround yourself with people, friends, family, maybe a new partner who see your soul, not just your smile. This isn't about rejecting fun or chemistry. Those are great, but they're not enough. A relationship that's only about the good times is like a car with no engine. It might look cool, but it's not taking you anywhere. You're not here to stall out. You're here to accelerate, to build a life that's as epic as your potential. When I built Tesla, we didn't stop at making a shiny car. We made it sustainable, powerful, game changing. Your relationships should be the same: sustainable, powerful, game changing. Don't settle for someone who's only here for the sparks. Demand someone who's ready to dive into the depths, who sees the universe inside you and wants to explore it all. You're not just a pretty face, you're a force, a vision, a woman who's rewriting the rules. Let's keep pushing. Next red flag. We're going for the stars. Ladies, we're at the final stretch, and I'm not here to let you coast to the finish line. You're here to blast through it like a starship breaking through Earth's atmosphere. You're building a life that's meant to redefine what's possible, a life that's as audacious as colonizing Mars or wiring brains to machines. But to do that, you need people in your corner who are all in, not just along for the ride. We're tackling the fifth red flag. When a guy's indifferent after intimacy, when he pulls back emotionally once the moment's over, leaving you feeling like an afterthought. This isn't just a minor glitch, it's a glaring signal. He's not here for your heart, your mind, or your mission. He's chasing a fleeting thrill, not the incredible woman you are. In my world, indifference is a death sentence for progress. You don't get to space by half-assing it, and you don't build a relationship by settling for someone who's only half there. Let's dive in, Musk style, and get you fired up to demand a partner who's as committed as you are to going the distance. Imagine building something as wild as a reusable rocket. Every part, every system, every test has to be fully committed to the mission. If one component checks out after launch, the whole thing crashes. That's what indifference in a relationship is: a component that bails when it's time to perform. Intimacy isn't just a moment, it's a connection, a bridge between two people who are building something together. If he's warm engaged 1 minute, then cold and distant the next, he's not building that bridge. He's treating you like a pit stop, not a destination. You're not a refueling station for his ego or his desires. You're a woman with a vision, a heart, a future that's bigger than any one moment. If he's indifferent after sharing something as vulnerable as intimacy, he's not seeing you. He's seeing a temporary high, and you're worth so much more than that. What does this look like in real life? It's the guy who's all in when the mood's right: sweet words, intense attention, making you feel like the center of his universe. But once the moment passes, he's emotionally gone. Maybe he's scrolling his phone, barely responding to you, or acting like nothing significant just happened. Maybe he avoids deeper conversations, sidesteps your attempts to connect, or leaves you feeling like you're chasing him for a shred of care. That's not a partner, that's a passenger, someone who's happy to enjoy the ride but jumps ship when it's time to navigate the stars. You're not here to carry someone through your life. You're here to share it with someone who's ready to match your intensity, your depth, your drive. I know this one hits hard. There's a raw vulnerability in intimacy, a moment where you let someone in, heart and soul. When they respond with indifference, it's like a punch to the gut. It makes you question your worth, wonder if you're asking for too much or if you're not enough. Let me shut that down right now. You are enough. You're more than enough. You're a force of nature, a woman who's capable of changing the world. I felt that sting of indifference, not in romance, but in the grind of building my companies. When I poured everything into SpaceX, there were moments when the world didn't care, when investors, critics, even friends looked at me like I was crazy. But I didn't let their apathy stop me, and you shouldn't let his stop you. Your worth isn't defined by someone else's inability to see it. It's defined by you, by your mission, by the fire that keeps you moving forward. Why does this matter? because indifference after intimacy isn't just a moment, it's a pattern that erodes your confidence, your trust, your sense of self. It's like trying to build a Tesla with a team that only shows up for the unveil but skips the engineering. You can't create something extraordinary with someone who's only there for the easy parts. You need a partner who's in it for the whole journey, the highs, the lows, the moments that demand vulnerability and strength. A guy who's indifferent after intimacy is telling you he's not committed to that journey. He's not here for the woman who's dreaming big, who's fighting for her goals, who's building a life that's as bold as a mission to the stars. He's here for the moment, and you're worth a lifetime. So, how do you spot this and shut it down? It's about seeing the signs and acting on them. After intimacy, does he stay connected, talking, listening, showing he values you beyond the physical? Or does he pull back, go silent, act like you're suddenly less important? Watch how he treats you in those quiet moments after the intensity fades. Does he make you feel seen, valued, cherished? Or does he leave you feeling like you're alone, even when he's right there? If it's the latter, that's not a one off, that's a system failure. And you don't keep a faulty system in a rocket, you fix it or you replace it. In this case, you replace him with someone who's ready to show up for all of you, not just the parts that suit him. Here's the mindset shift. You're not here to be someone's temporary escape. You're here to be a partner in a mission that's bigger than both of you. When I started the Boring Company, it wasn't just about digging tunnels, it was about reimagining how we move, how we live. Your relationships should be about reimagining what's possible, not settling for someone who's only here for the fun parts. You deserve a partner who's as invested in your heart as you are in your dreams. Someone who sees intimacy as a beginning, not an end. Someone who's ready to build something real, not just chase a fleeting spark. That's the kind of connection that fuels a life worth living. Let's get to the action plan, because I'm not here to just talk, I'm here to help you launch. Step one, pay attention to the aftermath. After intimacy, notice how he acts. Is he present, engaged, building on that connection? Or is he distant, distracted, indifferent? That's your data, use it. Step two, set boundaries. Make it clear you're not here for one-sided moments. You want a partner who's in it for the whole journey, not just the highlights. Step three, value your own depth. Spend time nurturing your own heart, your passions, your goals, your inner fire. The right person will be drawn to that, not just your surface. And step four, choose commitment over convenience. Surround yourself with people who show up consistently, who see you as a partner, not a passenger in their story. This is about more than one guy or one moment. It's about your entire trajectory. Every person you let into your life shapes where you're headed. If you're letting indifference slide, you're letting someone dim your light. But if you demand commitment, if you hold the line on what you're worth, you're setting yourself up for a life that's as epic as your potential. You're not here to be someone's pit stop. You're here to be a co-pilot, a partner, a woman who's changing the game. When I look at the future, I see humanity thriving on Mars, connected by Starlink, powered by Tesla. When you look at your future, see a woman who's thriving, connected, powered by her own fire, and don't let anyone into your orbit who doesn't see that too. You're not just a moment, you're a movement. Rise above indifference, demand a partner, not a passenger, and let's build a life that's out of this world.